Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries from across the country, and joining me on this segment is Lauren Drummond Dale. She's the founder of Coastal Consultants from Biloxi, Mississippi. Lauren, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Lauren, tell us a little bit about your work, and specifically, who are those types of clients that you specialize in helping?
So, in my area of the country, the idea that there are people like us, business intermediaries, much less ones that are certified with the International Business Brokers Association, we're kind of a novelty. When business owners get ready to exit their businesses in this area, they don't know what to do. They think they either need to sell it to family, friends, or just close the doors. So our biggest challenge here in South US, Mississippi and Alabama, is educating people that we do exist, that we sell businesses all day, every day. That we like to talk to business owners 3 or 4 years before they're ready to exit their business so that we can make sure we had their business positioned for the best return on their life's investment in that company.
That's terrific, because I know people that start a business, they're really focusing on the daily, day-to-day like growth of the business, and often people don't really plan for the exit part or the sale part. So I have heard a statistic that the majority of businesses are just not sellable. They didn't prepare it well enough. What are some of the myths and misconceptions out there? I mean, I've heard things like people think it's like selling a house. What could be more further from the truth? And what are some of the biggest misconceptions you hear?
Right. And that's a real trap that we get stuck in. We try to tell people what we do, and they'll say, "Oh, you're like a realtor." Well, no, I have a real estate license, and I'll be glad to sell your property if you own your property and your business. But your business transaction is much more complicated than a property transaction.
What are some of the sort of pitfalls or things that business owners don't quite understand that make their business not attractive or not sellable? What have you seen?
Right, so there's two aspects there. Number one is most small business owners are operating their business with the least tax exposure that they can legally have. And then the person buying the business is looking for the business that has the greatest cash flow after taxes. So those two numbers don't always coincide to the business owner's benefit. Sometimes entrepreneurs have great success at going out and selling things, but they're not the best bookkeepers. So they need someone to clean their books up so that it's clear what they're doing. The buyer needs there to be no mystery. Everything needs to be clear and concise. And that's a lot of what we do the year before we sell. A business owner takes their business to market, is clearing up those mysteries that are in their books. It's not that there's anything wrong. It's just not clear what's going on.
It's an interesting time that we're in right now. You've got a huge wave of retiring business owners that are wanting to exit or sell their businesses. And then you've got this great recession that you hear in the news, the great resignation, I should say, of people wanting to go into business themselves and buy a successful business for a head start. Is it really, what's your perspective been? Is it really a great time to sell or buy a business today?
I think it is. I think there's still money available to help people that are starting out that don't have a large amount of cash to utilize. The Small Business Administration still has their doors open, still helping people buy businesses. Business owners that are my age or a little older, they've been through several sweeps of the economy, and they're really not sure they want to ride another one out. Things are really good now. And we've been telling people for several years now is the time to sell. Let's not wait till we get in another slump when you don't have the greatest numbers in the world to show someone. So get it ready. Get your business ready now, even if it's not ready this year, maybe the first part of next year to be ready to go to market and get you the greatest return on your lifetime investment.
Lauren, what inspired you to get into this line of work and help people prepare and sell their businesses? How did you get started?
Yeah, so in my career, I've started and owned about a dozen different businesses. And like most of my neighbors here in Mississippi, I didn't know that there were business brokers that dealt with smaller companies. Now, we'll work with a company up to $40 million in revenue, but we also work with companies that have $250,000 in revenue. I didn't know we existed. So when I exited my companies I had to exit one for health reasons, exit one for changing where I lived. I didn't know what to do. And now that I have had a little success in my life, I believe in reaching back and pulling the next entrepreneur up along with us. And this is a great way for me to reach back and help business owners that want to exit like I did, help young, new, not necessarily young, but new business owners that are coming out of corporate America, help them get into business and help them understand the differences between running a small Main Street or a small business here versus being in the corporate world.
Before I ask you my last question, is there anything that I didn't think to ask that you feel is important to share with the business owner listening that is considering selling their business today?
Yes,
What would you
the
share?
number one concern of business owners is confidentiality. And I should have already mentioned that a half a dozen times already. That's probably the key difference between utilizing a business intermediary or a mergers and acquisition specialist as versus a realtor. A realtor puts your business or your property out on MLS and it's there for everyone to see. Business broker, business intermediary, we have means of confidentially marketing, preparing, negotiating, getting to the closing table with your business without everyone on the street, your competitors or your customers or your vendors finding out that it is for sale until there is a deal firmly on the table.
That's a great distinction. Lauren, for folks listening that are considering selling their business today and would like your help, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Sure. Coastal Consultants LLC in Mississippi. I'm on LinkedIn. We have a website, www.coastalconsult.org. A little bit of a different address there, .org. We'd be glad to talk to anyone. We don't charge a client anything for an initial conversation, whether they're a buyer or a seller. We want to see if we can help them before we get down to business. We're not hard sell. We consider ourselves intermediaries. We're trying to find a common ground between an owner that wants to exit and a buyer that wants to enter the business.
Lauren, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time and stopping by to share with my audience today. I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you. Have a great day.
That was Lauren Drummond Dale, the founder of Coastal Consultants, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.